It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and Bethesda, Maryland. And this is news that you can use from CarEdge for Friday, May 19th, with your hosts, Zach and Ray. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a Friday, which means it's time for Miss Kimberly Klein.
I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kimberly Klein.
You did forget to mention West by God, Virginia.
West by God, Virginia. Happy Friday, Kimberly. How are you?
Very good. I'm so glad to see you too. Sunshiny and bright.
Yeah. How's the weather in West Virginia? I want to know what's coming my way.
Okay, lots of wind over here.
Oh,
and over here, we have some sunshine with mixed clouds.
Okay, perfect. Well, I already live on the windiest place in the earth, so I'm looking forward to that continuing. Yeah.
Hey, well, let's kick today's show off, guys. We've got car repos rising. Miss Kimberly Klein, you brought this article to our attention. Interesting. In Auto Finance News, one of the industry publications, they're talking about all sorts of investments that are being made on the repo front, but not in the typical way, like systems engineers and things like that. But then you read this article, Kimberly, and you get down to the very bottom of it. And what do you see? Collections positions abound. What did you find that was so interesting in this article?
Well, and I have to hand this one off to Ray. It shows us the future. It's like a crystal ball. This is telling us, and I'm sure Ray can speak to this, that they're hiring people, more and more and more people, for collections positions in the auto lending sector. What does that mean?
You know, Zach always reminds me when we look at data, we're always looking in the rearview mirror. We're looking backwards. We're looking at what has transpired. And what I found interesting reading this is one of the few opportunities when you dig in at these lenders and you look at their job opportunities and see that the vast majority of their job opportunities are in collections and the collections department and how to dispose of vehicles that have been repossessed. And that, to me, that's forward looking as opposed to backwards looking. So I think you can extrapolate from this that they know that the repo, however you say it, the apocalypse, the major increase in delinquent accounts is happening now, and they anticipate, based on future hiring practices, that it will get even worse.
Let's look at the article. Let's read this line for line, folks. And I'm actually going to start here, and we'll work our way up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carvana has the most open positions, 463, despite having laid off 4,000 employees last year. About half of those jobs relate to vehicle auctioning and reconditioning. We've got here, guys, a $2,500 sign-on bonus at Flagship Credit Acceptance because they're scouting 4 senior collectors, skip tracers. Flagship is also seeking a collection supervisor, for which it will shell out $3,000 as a sign-on bonus. So this is, you're spot on, Dad. Like, this is forward-looking as it can get.
Indeed.
These financial institutions, Kimberly, are hiring and paying extra money to hire folks that are going to help with repossessing vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, nice sign-on bonuses. But let me add something to this. Exeter Finance is a subprime lender. So they know what's coming with subprime lending. Westlake Financial, that's a subprime. Flagship Credit Acceptance, that's going way, way, way back. At the time, they had a subprime division. So, yeah, I think that plays into, hey, we know it's coming, so we're getting staffed, we're getting ready, so much so we're going to pay you to join us. A little bonus.
It is
a not so little bonus.
Yes, and it is the truest sign that there are real deep delinquency issues happening now and on the horizon, and the anticipation from these lending institutions is that it's going to get much worse before it gets better. So this is not one of those situations where we look back and we look at, well, they added X amount of dollars to their loan loss prevention. Their profits were down, this and that. As you always like to remind me, that's in the rearview mirror. This is truly, truly a way to illuminate the future, to finally have a crystal ball that we didn't buy at the dollar store. Okay, that if you're a lender and you are looking to dramatically increase the size of your collection department, that tells you everything you need to know about what's going to happen in the future. I mean, this could be on the automobile side of things, 2008, 2009, what that was to mortgage lending. So it is happening. It's a scary time. No wonder so many lenders are tightening their credit criteria. I mean, because these aren't. I would imagine if you went to Wells Fargo and Chase and looked at their open positions, that you'd see any number of positions that are available in the collections departments. I think this is an industry-wide wake-up call for the rest of us.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
We had in automotive news, or excuse me, in Cox Automotive very recently, there was the auto credit availability tightened in April. And so you've got to imagine that we're going to see more and more of this tightening on the lending side because A, interest rates are going up, Fed funds rates are going up, but also B, think about some of the regional banks that crashed recently. Like, you think as these folks are going out the door, they're thinking, okay, let's increase our auto loan portfolio. And the answer is no. The answer is definitely no. What they are looking at is, holy cow, we have hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in outstanding auto loans. And, oh, wait, the delinquency rate on those keeps ticking up month after month after month. How are we going to recoup our losses there? And the other storyline to all this is the vehicles aren't worth what they were worth when they originally wrote the loan. Now, Pops, we covered this, and Kimberly, I don't know if you saw it. We covered Edmunds. They did a huge Q1 study of the used car market. And they said that from 2018 to today, used car prices have gone up or went up 50%. And then in the first quarter, they went down 6% relative to year over year. So it's like over 5 years, used cars appreciated. Scary thing to say, 50%. A lot of people were buying them and financing them at well over 100% loan to value ratio last year or 2 years ago. And now 6% is not a huge drop, but 6% on, I don't know, 100 million is a big number. A billion is a big number. And I think that's what these financial institutions are looking at. They're like, oh, crap, we have to go repossess all those vehicles and make sure we can turn around, recondition them, and sell them.
It's going to get ugly. This is, I'm mad at myself for not having thought to look at these things for most industries as to, what type of positions these lenders are looking to hire for. I mean, there is gold in knowing what they think the future is. And this is our one opportunity where we get to see what their projection for the future is. And then at the end of this quarter, we'll be able to look back and see why they were preparing so feverishly for this onslaught of delinquencies that we're about to see.
Yeah. I was speaking with an ex-colleague of mine, a finance manager who is still a finance manager, who said he really misses Citizens. I mean, we used to put a ton of business through Citizens. They're gone. I also asked, how many subprime lenders are you down to now? 3. One of them is CAC. Regional, which I had forgotten about, Regional is still, but they have really tightened their guidelines in their lending. So even with Regional, they are subprime. You've got to have a lot of cash down because of what you just said, Zach.
Look at this. This came from Car Dealership Guy, a Twitter account that we like to follow. Big news this morning. Hearing that Truist and Regional Acceptance will be partially
Oh
exiting
my.
the auto lending space on Monday. Plan is to cut off all independent dealers but keep franchise dealers. If accurate, will be another big hit to an already very bleak lending climate. Note, similar to my other scoops, that were all correct. The story is unconfirmed, but from a very reliable source. So here you go. More rumors of more banks, like you're saying, Kimberly.
Regional, and that was not planned.
There you go. Let's talk a little bit about, there's a comment in the chat here from Jarrett. One Chevy dealer I talked to simply said, I can't get people approved anymore. Can you guys both speak to, you were both in the industry during the Great Recession. What was it like getting people approved back then? And do you see parallels now? I guess, Kimberly, I'll toss it to you first. Do you see parallels to where we were then? And what was it like?
I do see parallels. Yes, of course, there are many similarities here. People needed more cash down. They needed better credit. It was really tough to get subprime deals done. But I think it is different and it is tougher today than it was in 2008. I mean, banks are disappearing faster than I ever imagined that they would. They're getting out of the indirect auto lending space. That's a little shocking to me. I mean, some come, some go, but it feels different. And in talking with my ex-colleagues the other day, the tightening, the amount of cash down that people need now to even get a lender to look at a deal is much larger than it was in 2008. We know why. The price of things is just going up and the lending guidelines is tightened. So short answer, yes, there are similarities. This is bigger. This is different.
What do you think, Pops?
And truth be told, with so many vehicles being overvalued, as far as what asking prices and selling prices are, there has never been a time like today when what I used to train salespeople to say to a customer is, banks are looking for somewhere between 20 and 25% down. And let's say we were looking at in today's world on a pre-owned car, average pre-owned transaction prices are somewhere around $30,000. So on a $30,000 car, 20% down would be, help me with this, $6,000?
$6,000, yeah.
Okay. So my suspicion is that those people that are looking at $30,000 cars don't have $6,000 to put down. Okay. That's the reason they're looking at $30,000 cars. So this is the need for cash today as a buyer for a new or a pre-owned car is greater than it probably has been since the Great Recession. During the Great Recession, when so many banks failed, and we had all those loose lending guidelines for mortgages that impacted ultimately auto financing, because the Fed and the federal government said you have to tighten your lending criteria. And if you didn't have really good credit or a lot of money down, 2008, 2009, you weren't getting financed. I mean, the banks were just, it didn't matter. No, we're not interested. It's not quite that bad yet, but I believe we're headed that way. And the thing that'll get us there is the fact that, today banks really are going to be looking for somewhere between 20 and 25% cash or trade equity down. They're going to want to, they're not only are they going to want to see some type of participation from the customer, they're going to require it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And, Ray and Zach, there's a lot of rehashing now too. There was always rehashing. What is rehashing? Rehashing is whenever the finance manager has to pick up the phone and call their lender rep, also known as their buyer, and say, what do I got to do to get there? What do we need to get this deal done, Mr. Buyer? And that kind of brings in something else too. Someone asked me this week was the first pencil worksheet. where they show you payments and terms.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that's what their payment is. And I want people to understand that it's a desk rate. All right, that the sales manager used just to show you your payments. Your credit has not been sent in yet. You're just there working on the OTD. So whenever you see that first pencil worksheet that shows you breakdown of what your payment might look like, please know that is not what your payment is going to be. That is a desk rate. And so desk rates, and Ray will speak to this, I'm sure, have changed, and they're changing all the time. I know that we would use 6% when rates were super low because we don't know what credit you have. You know, you might have good credit, bad credit. A sales manager has to have some idea of what to show you for interest rates. But that has just gone up and up and up. Desk rates.
And what happens with the first pencil like that is the customer gets sidetracked. And what I mean by that is they have fallen prey to what the dealership wants to do, which is to get them to concentrate on payment as opposed to out the door pricing.
Yes.
So it's like being a magician. You need to divert their attention. And so when you get a first pencil and they want to show you payments, don't pay any attention to the payments at all. Let's not talk about payments. The only thing we need to talk about right now, Mr. Salesperson, is let's talk about the total out the door price of this vehicle, including all taxes and fees. I just want to concentrate on that. Once we've established a number that works for both of us, then I'll be more than happy to have a conversation about payments with the finance manager.
Bam.
I don't need to have conversation with the salesperson.
What if before you're having that conversation with the finance manager, you're trying to make sure you understand your payments and things like that, you realize that you might have made a mistake because you went to a dealership, I don't know, Coons Auto. So here's the deal.
Wonderful.
We're talking about...
I believe that would be Kunis, but Kunis. I could be wrong. Yeah.
Excuse me to the Coons group here in Maryland. Kunis. Yes. Auto. So Kimberly, you're talking about, these things that you need to watch out for. Pops, you're saying the same thing. Then you run into articles like these that, quite frankly, keep us around doing what we're doing. Let's switch gears and let's talk about this lawsuit. This is not the first time on this channel or the CarEdge channel that we've talked about power booking, which is what we're about to get into here. But the long story short, supervisors encourage deceiving auto lenders about the financial strength of borrowers at 3 Kunis Auto Group Illinois stores. Bad things seem to happen in Illinois. That's also where the Napleton settlement came out of last year, according to a lawsuit by 2 former employees. Supervisors encourage deceiving auto lenders about the financial strength of borrowers. So we're having this whole conversation about tightening lending restrictions or tightening lending requirements. Yes. And then you have finance managers who are determined to get a deal bought, deceiving the actual lenders. The March 30th complaint by former employees says that by former sales manager and general manager alleges that they experienced retaliation when they refused to commit fraud. The lawsuit claims that the stores repeatedly engaged in power booking, a practice where dealers report non-existent features to trick lenders into approving a loan amount disproportional to the vehicle's true value. Let's stop there. Kimberly first. Power booking, is this a thing? Is this a real thing or a one-off?
Good old power booking. Yeah. So power booking is whenever you're structuring a deal. You've all heard me talk about it's not just a score, it's the structure of the deal. The bank wants to know the value of that vehicle. It might be retail, it might be wholesale, it might be MSRP if it's a brand new one, but on used vehicle, they will use a book out. And with a book out, you can picture this. Okay. You're on a computer and you're booking, click, 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 all these different accessories and what your vehicle might have on it. You know what? I need a bigger value to get this deal done. I need more value in this vehicle. So I'm going to say that it has what, Ray? It's got
might have a moonroof. Until it gets repossessed.
So it gets repossessed. It's got full leather. It's got heated steering wheel. It's got roof racks. It's got 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's going to add a lot. So then I can get my deal done. And then the next thing that happens is the customer misses a payment, 2, 3, gets the vehicle repoed, and it's sitting at the credit union parking lot. And banks will actually cut you off for this. This is non-compliant. You cannot do this. It is called power booking.
It's fraud.
It's
It's
fraud.
absolute fraud. You are building up the value of the vehicle to increase its loan value by stating that it has equipment it does not have.
It's
Okay.
quite the way to do business.
Well, I've seen it. We fired finance managers for it. It's absolute fraud, and Justice had it right. It's not a one-off when there's a name for it and everybody understands it.
Yeah, that's so true, Justice.
Yeah.
Do you think more of
is.
this is going on right now, though, based on our prior
Absolutely.
conversation, right? Like it's harder to get deals done. You think it's happening more often, Kimberly?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as you go on in this article, Zach, something even bigger along the line, they set up a little lender in the dealership for, I don't know, getting a loan for like if you want some accessories or you need a loan to get your car fixed and service. So it's a little personal loan, that kind of digital thing that they set up. Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep reading through this article because these are essentially like the red flags to watch out for. So the dealerships also inflated down payments, misleading lenders about consumers' ability to repay the loans. The lawsuit also alleges that one scheme found the stores artificially hiking vehicle prices, then cutting them with a false rebate and applying the rebate to the down payment. We also have here the dealership encouraged customers to apply for loans through Dignify, a short-term automotive lending platform for car service and repairs, purchases, and accessories, and then use the borrowed money for a down payment. Repeatedly asked to do this. The lawsuit claims that the president and CEO were aware of the fraud and understood that it was going on. So yeah, there's a lot of red flags in there.
Now, I am sure that the owners will say that they have plausible deniability. That we would never stand for anything like this. But I will share with you 40-some years of experience. It all filters down from the top. Okay? If crap like that is going on, it's going on because that's what the owner wants. Okay, that the owner doesn't care how the deal gets bought. The owner doesn't care what the sales managers and the finance managers have to do in order to get a deal bought. He just wants to know that there's a deal and it's been funded. He doesn't care whether it was done legitimately or illegitimately. So, yeah, I'm sure the owner will have plausible deniability, but I can assure you that it's a philosophy that stems from the top, from the head of the beast through the beast. So it's the way they do business.
Yes.
It's the way they've chosen to do business. And
yeah, as a matter of fact, they wanted these employees to do this. They, meaning
they encourage
from the top, they encouraged this kind of thing. So listen, people, if you go into a dealership and they walk you over to a portal where you can apply for a loan for service items or whatnot. Now, behind the scenes, though, bewilder beast.
Yeah.
Some lenders, and I did a little digging into this, some lenders don't mind if you take a little personal loan over here to use as a down payment on your vehicle. However, with the tightening, lenders are scrutinizing this because they don't want you doing that. It makes your debt to income go up. And now they're worried about how you're going to afford that car payment. So this is really, getting tightened up by the lenders. It's not a good thing. If you see it, walk away.
The timing of this story is interesting, though, because like you were saying, it probably is happening more and more now. Go for it, Pops.
Well, I was going to say, what a lot of people don't realize, and that banks don't necessarily look favorably on this. But a lot of people will put their down payment on their credit card. Okay. Well, that's credit. That's additional credit that you've taken out in order to qualify for more credit. And so if the bank knew that, I don't know, your $10,000 down payment was coming off of a credit card, well, they're going to look at your debt to income ratio differently because you now have $10,000 more in credit card debt. But I will say this, lots of banks don't want to know. Okay, they don't want to know where the down payment came from.
Yeah,
They don't want to
yeah.
know that it was put on a credit card. They don't want to know. They ain't asking that question. The only question they're asking is, well, how much cash or trade equity down do we have? Okay. And
You
so,
get Steve-O in the chat, Dad, even asking things like, well, why doesn't the bank just run the VIN and see what the features are? A little bit is what you're saying. It's like they just don't want to know. And the other part is, especially on that one, it's like hard to get accurate information. So you know what? If the sales manager says it, if the finance manager says it, it is what it is. We're good to go. Let's move it forward. It's a lot of ambivalence.
But let me say this. A lot of banks require that you send a copy of the book sheet.
Oh, you must. You have
with
to.
the contract.
Yeah.
Okay. So that they keep that in the file. And that's how they know when the vehicle gets repossessed. When you say it was an XLE and it was, well, an XL, and you say it had a moonroof and it doesn't, and you say it had navigation and there ain't any screen in it, that's how they know, and that's how they come back at you.
Yes.
But it doesn't happen often enough.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. Yeah.
All right, here's the deal. Pops has a show in 20 minutes over at CarEdge Electric with Justice. Can't wait to tune in for that. Friday, a lot of wins this week. Can we please do some Friday wins?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Me, you, someone in between. Who wants to go first?
I don't know that I have a win.
Ray.
Kimberly, I'll go first.
You go first.
We had an idea. On Tuesday, we had an idea. The idea was what we're calling the CarEdge Data Explorer. Okay. And it's right now, it's behind check it out later. Go to caredge.com/data later on. You'll be able to do what I'm about to show you on the screen. We had this idea on Tuesday and it's live and it's built today. Like I'm saying, give it a couple hours before you go check it out. You put in a year, I'm going to do Ford, a make, I'm going to do F-150, and a model. And you can explore all sorts of market data associated with that year, make, model. So, for example, I can look at the market days supply broken down by any state. So, wow, the market day supply of 2021 Ford F-150s in Nebraska, not New England, is quite high, and it is quite low in Nevada, for example. We're building out more and more of these data tools, and I'm so proud of how quickly the team was able to turn this around, how scrappy they were in getting this out. Let's look at this. The lowest advertised price for a Ford F-150 2021 is in Vermont.
Well, that's the mean price. That's not the advertised price. So that would be is that like the mean selling price?
It's
or
the
mean
listing
asking
price, which is the advertised. Yeah, it's the
okay.
It's the,
got it.
So I said it right?
Apparently.
The highest would be back in Nevada where there's no inventory, right?
Right. Makes sense.
$57,000. So if you're in Nevada, maybe you should go to Oregon. I don't know. You could get a better deal. So the reason this is my win is not because we have this new thing. The reason this is my win is because I'm really proud of the team for saying, hey, that's a cool idea on Tuesday. And by Friday, we have it out there and people can use it. CarEdge.com/data. And again, give it a couple hours. It literally just went up and it needs a little time to cool or to warm up, I should say. Kimberly, what was your win from the week?
I mean, that's lightning fast, as in Ford
fastest
lightning.
we've ever been able to do something.
Ford lightning fast.
Ford lightning fast.
Charges both ways.
Oh God, a success story. You guys, you know how we're always talking about lobby rates and finance manager indirect lending buy rates. Well, we have somebody, John Novicki, a fair deal for the times, who, speaking of Ford, his new Maverick, Lariat with his luxury package for MSRP. But the dealership used Patriot Federal Credit Union, who happens to be my credit union. They've done a gazillion deals for me in the past, and he got that indirect lending rate, and I am very proud. I'm very proud of him. Great job in securing your new 23 Ford Maverick Lariat.
If I can pull up one of
Nice
our
done.
other community success stories, this was an essay that was sent to me in my email inbox. Pop, I'll forward it to you as well. So, like, the wins are happening across the board, whether it's, the Maverick, this one here, the stuff that we're building back at CarEdge.com. Lots of wins. It makes me
Yes.
so happy to see. The momentum is incredible.
And my win was the fact that you went with Data Explorer instead of Dora the Explorer. That was my win. So,
Is that what you were thinking? I am so glad you.
No,
you
I
fixed
don't want to
that,
get
Ray.
sued by Dora the Explorer. No, Kimberly, I do not want to. I know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
It's a really, really cool thing, and I can't wait till everybody starts using it.
Yeah, we'll keep building it out too, which will be fun. All right, CarEdge Electric, 15 minutes from now, 14 minutes from now.
I'll be
CarEdge
there.
Electric Unplugged. Go check it out, Pops and Justice. Kimberly, enjoy the upcoming weekend. Beautiful weather we have right now, so take advantage of it. Dad, enjoy your show, enjoy your upcoming weekend, and I'll see both of you back on Monday.
Well, don't we
Saturday.
have a show tomorrow night?
Oh, I'll see you tomorrow night, Pops. Yeah, we do. We got a big show over on the CarEdge channel. So please tune in for that.
See,
Yes.
I knew there was something that you had me booked for tomorrow night. Yeah.
I will be there
7 p.m.
moderating.
Look
It's
at
gonna
that.
be-
All
Thank you,
three of us
Kimberly.
will be there.
I'll be
Terrific.
moderating. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It will be fun.
Yeah.
All right, gang. Well, enjoy the weekend. Pops, sign us out.
That's another show, another wrap from your friends here at CarEdge, with a reminder that you can follow us again here on Monday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, 8 a.m. in Anchorage, 6 a.m. in Honolulu. And for all of our fans in Manila, we'll see you at midnight on Monday.